Hello, guys. My name is Felix. This is Prince. If you guys are aware, we are here from Ledger, here to answer any questions that you might have. I think first thing I'd want to double check with you guys. First of all, just double check our audio is okay. And also, if you have any questions, you can just pop them into the chat as well. Also, I think I say this every week. You guys are probably sick of hearing it now. Please don't give out your 24 words. And don't send in transactions you don't trust. Those are pretty much the things I start off with. Might start off a little bit slow today as we wait for people to come in. But we do have a couple of questions that have already been popped into the chat. So we might just answer those. I'll just go with the first one in particular. So Rex Taylor, definitely recognize you, mate. You've mentioned that your Ledger Nano X isn't charging, and you've already actually updated it and plugged it into the wall overnight. That'd definitely be something we'd just have you get a hold of us for. We can have a look at that. We'd normally try to grab some of your details that we wouldn't want you to put up online. In public. So yeah, if you get a hold of us, you can go to support.ledger.com and we can have a look at that for you. So hopefully we can get that sorted.
Yep.
Next question we've got from Just Q is the name. You've mentioned, hey, you can't add an HBAR account to Ledger. You've updated Ledger Live to 2.54, the latest version, whatever that might be, and you've installed and uninstalled the app, still the same issue, you can't create the account. You've also tested other new coins which you're able to create. So I think the thing that I'd be thinking about is that with HBAR in particular, you do need to use another service. Hashpack is the one that we have normally mentioned that you'll be able to use to add the account. So that might be something you'd need to look into. If you want, I don't know if you're listening live, Q, we can just pop that in the chat. If you let us know, we'll do that for you at a later time. That's as people are rolling in, that's the questions we have for now. But I mean, it gives us a chance to just talk about just general things that are happening in the crypto space. I mean, we have a big update for Ledger Live. That's really fun. Got a couple new features. I think the big one, I think I always talked about it previously, was that there were potentially zero value transactions that you guys get filtered out. It's something that you guys might have seen, and as long as you're going through the receipt process, it's okay. But it's something that we'd be hoping that helps your process going forward as well. But yeah, looks like there's a couple more people coming in. Yeah, we can see if we can.
Next is Glenn. He's asking, when will AVAX be on Ledger and not the Binance pegged one? So I think you're referring to the mainnet AVAX coin. So I think with the 2.54, there are some users who were able to add their accounts, but official support for AVAX is coming soon, and our teams are working on it. We still don't have any ETA, but it should be coming in the future, like maybe next version of Ledger Live or maybe the version after that. So keep out your eyes on the social media channels which we have on Twitter or YouTube as well, and we'll definitely let our users know when the app is ready.
And I don't know if it's if you did want to manage that within like the native version, you should be able to use the web wallet. I think you mentioned that. So it shouldn't be an issue. You should be able to use a bridge, especially because it's a Binance Smart Chain and AVAX Chain is a EVM chain as well. There should be some bridges that you should be able to use there. So hopefully that gets you sorted out. We've got Yarrow Sketches, and they've mentioned XTC, that you're itching to have it on Ledger Live. Always happy to pass on that feedback, and we'll make sure. I think we've mentioned it every time, no time frames that we can give you, but we'll pass on that feedback for sure.
Next is Bernard. How can I transfer my crypto from Coinbase to Ledger Nano X? So we have a YouTube tutorial on our channel, so you can just go to the playlist and then you will find Coinbase to Ledger, and then there's step-by-step instructions that explains you how to transfer your assets from Coinbase account to Ledger account. It's not very difficult. You just have to create an account in Ledger Live, go to receive, get the destination address, copy that and paste that address in Coinbase when clicking on send, and then you can able to send the tokens. Always try to send a small test amount first, so you are sure that your tokens are transferred successfully, and also make sure to select the right network when transferring the tokens, because otherwise it will go to some different network and you will not lose your token, but then it will take a long process to recover them.
Yeah, it's always good to know, the process depends on like what you're sending, like what network, and those are probably the two main things, right, that I think of. So yeah, definitely if you have any trouble, I think a lot of some parts of it you might need to refer to Coinbase, but we're always here to help as best we can as well. I think most of us should have probably used Coinbase at some point in the team. So hopefully that answers your question.
I'm a Coinbase user myself, so I can vouch for that. And next is Glenn is saying thank you. Welcome, Glenn. Next is CA production. How do I manage bootloader mode? Everything is blocked. So I think you're trying to update the firmware of the device, and in the middle your device just got blocked. So don't worry, we have a help center article that explains the steps of troubleshooting steps on how to get through this error. And if the issue still persists, and if your device is locked and you're not able to send your funds, please reach out to us via opening a support ticket. You can do that by going to our website ledger.com, go to support tab on the extreme right, and there is a contact us button at the bottom. And we also have a live chat going on at the moment, so some of our agents are on live chat that will help you out at this moment in time. You don't have to wait for the emails to bounce back and forth.
It might be something to think about in terms of, because you mentioned that that your app is blocked, so you can't open Ledger Live. Do you think he'd mean maybe the password, or is it that he won't?
I feel it's
on
just normal bootloader, I guess.
The screen.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's definitely something we should be able to guide you through. Like you mentioned, over live chat is probably what you might prefer there. We can go through that process with you in particular. If you have the Help Center article up, it might help you as well. So you can double check that at support.ledger.com. You should be able to search for it there. We've got a question here from cryptographer Chris, which is a pretty sick name. The way I enter my passcode, I'm assuming you mean PIN code, into the Ledger Nano X has changed. Is that something that you did, or was it part of the update? That should have been a part of the update. So they have updated the way that the PIN screen works and looks rather. So you should be able to. That's probably what you're seeing there. So no need to worry in general. And
it's also for increased security. So always, guys, the new updates brings on new security features. So the before PIN screen was maybe not that secure, but the new one is more secure. And security is not a one-time thing. It keeps on improving, keeps on enhancing itself. That's what we do at Ledger. And that's why the new PIN screen, it's not something that we pushed. It's with the update, of course, it's supposed to be come on. Next is CA Productions bootloader on my key. Okay, yeah, so you can check out the article, and if the issue still persists, you can reach out to us, because we'll need some back and forth to help you out with this. Next is Rizul Karim. Any update on the Cadena app? So it's in works, guys, and it's been kind of repetitive. We're saying this for a long period of time that it's gonna come. But security is not easy, so we'll wait for some time, and once the app is completely safe for release, the team will let us know about it, and then we'll let the community know about it as well. Next is see my app is blocked. I cannot open my Ledger Live and connect to my account. How do I lift the bootloader mode on my key? Okay, maybe you can try it using a different. You can also download the Ledger Live mobile on your phone and try to connect your device via the phone. And again, if the issue still is not going off, and then if everything is locked and blocked, then we'll need to investigate this more in detail. So we'll need to ask you for your logs and everything. So get in touch with us via our contact button on our website, and we'll surely help you out with this. Cryptographer Chris is saying great, thanks.
Thank you.
Welcome. And so since we don't have much questions at the moment, we can give them the updates of the new app that is released, that is 2.54, guys.
Miniscript. This is a big one, right? Like, it's going to be, I think, the kind of functionality, hopefully, that, I don't know, people can build on top of this is going to be really interesting. I'm really excited to see that. So
indeed. And we also have some errors going on as well at this time. That is, first, people are not able to send their BEP20 tokens like Floki or other tokens. So this issue also has been fixed in the new update. So guys, if you are facing this issue and then you're not able to send your tokens, so please update it. For mobile, I know the issue still persists, and our teams are working on releasing a new Ledger Live mobile as well, and that will fix the issue. But we don't have any ETA at the moment. Maybe next week could be the release date, or maybe week after. But we're working on it. Next is Paraswap and 1inch. So we are also having some issues where people are not able to swap their assets via Ledger Live. If you're using Discover tab and you're going to the tabs called Paraswap or 1inch, you won't be able to swap your tokens, and maybe the exchange button will stay gray or something, like you will get an error message like operation denied on the device. So we are still investigating this issue. So if you are facing this issue, please reach out to our teams and share your Ledger Live log files so that we can escalate this to our dev team and they can work on fixing this as soon as possible.
And there's no reason why you couldn't just connect directly to these service providers as well. Paraswap, 1inch, they do have websites that you can use. Potentially third-party wallets if you need to connect, or wallet connect, or whatever it might be. So that should be all good there. I think we've got another question. Jed Clampett, you've mentioned, can you sell crypto on the Ledger device by using a link to your bank? Now, I think the main question there is what bank would support that in particular. I'm not saying that any bank doesn't, but if there is a bank that does support you sending it to a crypto address, so let's say if I was buying or selling Bitcoin and a bank accepted Bitcoin and had an address that you could send it to, I wouldn't see why not. But that would depend on the bank itself. There's no reason why you can't send your own assets, right? That's the.
Yep. And we also have different dApps. One is called, I think,
it's part of the buy and sell tab. I think we definitely have for sure to sell at least Bitcoin
and BT as well. It's a Swiss brokerage firm, so you can sell your Bitcoin or Ethereum directly from Ledger Live. Other tokens, if you want to sell it, you might have to swap it for Bitcoin or Ethereum, and then you can sell it from there, or you have to send it to your exchange. And you can send it from there as well. So your coins are in your custody, self-custody, so you can manage it in whatever way you want it, basically.
I think the other thing as well is that you would have to require these third-party services to kind of do that in particular. The reason being is that these services are the ones that actually interact with the actual fiat accounts and things like that, and so that's the reason. Got another question here. I think maybe I might be a little more qualified to answer. Razul, you mentioned, can you sell crypto to Australia AUD fiat on Ledger Live? Not necessarily only within Ledger Live. Again, like I was saying before, you'd need to use a third-party service. I think I've mentioned it before that the one that I was using in particular was Living Room Satoshi. No affiliation. Please do your own research because I don't want you guys to lose any money or come under any scrutiny. But definitely something you can look into that I was personally using in particular. So it might be something to look into. But in terms of just within Ledger Live, you're always going to have to use generally third-party services as well.
And yeah, you can only, for now in Ledger Live, you can only sell it via euros or dollars or CHF, Swiss francs basically. Australian dollars, I don't think it is supported, but I'm just seeing if there is another app that supports it. But yeah, there are a lot of decentralized websites as well. Like one is called ThorSwap, where you can just connect your Ledger device and then sell your funds from there as well. There's no KYC required as well, so you can do your transaction anonymously if you want. And again, there is another question from iTech for you. Is there not a risk if someone gets access to your device and enter 3 wrong pins to reset the device? Can I get my funds back with the seed phrase? So, yeah, you want to go for it?
Yeah. Is there a risk if someone gets access to your device if they know your PIN? 100%. That is a huge risk because then they can manage your assets as if they were you, regardless of you using Ledger Live or whatever it might be. Now, if they enter the wrong PIN and reset the device doesn't have your recovery phrase and therefore doesn't have your private keys. So that's you're generally going to be safe there. However, you've mentioned, can you get your funds back with your seed phrase? 100%. The recovery phrase, seed phrase, mnemonic phrase is the thing that you'd be using to make sure that you're the only one that can sign the transaction. So if you have the funds there, IT Tech for you rather, then yes, you'll be able to manage your funds there. So that's the same if you lose your device, anything like that. The 3 pins entering to reset the device is part of that security in terms of someone can't brute force the pin on your device.
Next is Rex. Can you use Bluetooth with desktop? So unfortunately not directly, but soon we are going to launch a Ledger extension that you can use. You can download it on your Safari browser on your computer, and then you'll be able to use it with the Bluetooth with your phone, and you can connect to any DApp or NFT marketplace and manage your tokens in that fashion. But for now, Bluetooth support is only for the mobile phones, and but the teams are working on developing for desktop PC as well. But we don't have any ETA at the moment. But we'll definitely escalate and this feedback to our team. Next is Bhavik Zaveri. Has Ledger Live started AVAX C chain account? So yes, Bhavik, if you have tried to add the account from My Ledger section with the new 22.54 app, it's supported. The chain has been, the integration has been tested and it's reviewed, but it's still not public. So you can completely safe to manage your tokens in that way. But yeah, and we'll do an official communication soon about the support of this chain.
Next, we've got Mattia mentioning hello from the HBAR community and hello back.
Mm-hmm.
Mention when can we expect HBAR native staking support? It's always a common question about when you might be able to expect particular features, and we can unfortunately never really give a good time frame. We don't want to set you guys up for with higher expectations. We want to make sure that when we release it, it's as good as it can be. So it's definitely something I'll mention that the whole community you guys are looking for, but I wouldn't be able to say exactly when you might be able to expect it or anything like that. I know the guys definitely want to make sure they cover every nook and cranny of what they'd be able to do, or be able to support that as best they can. So sorry I couldn't be more specific.
So it's coming, guys. We don't have any ETA, that's all for now. Next is Rizul. Is there any third-party service that provides custom designs for NanoS Plus, like customizing design sticker? Unfortunately, we're not aware of any.
Not any third party, but I mean, if you are going to have, if you're expecting to order maybe a large amount, it might be something you can get a hold of our team for, like marketing, things like that. They might be something you can work with us with in terms of doing that in particular. So could be possible. It might depend on your specific circumstance, but yeah, it is something that you can potentially try.
Yep. Bhavik is back again. So can I transfer all my AVAX in AVAX C account on Ledger Live? Yes, you can transfer your funds. We'll just suggest you to send a first small test amount, and once you see the test amount is reflected correctly in your Ledger Live account, then you can send the rest of your funds. So it's completely safe, yes. And yeah, since we don't have questions, we can go ahead with the updates. Ethereum account abstraction is coming.
I was really stoked to be able to talk about account extraction. I think Dan, he's obviously not here today, but he would have been someone that would have loved to talk about it. Something that you might have heard of from a lot of guys in the industry, and basically really just allowing you to set specific rules that you guys can use in terms of how you manage your not only Ethereum accounts but EVM accounts. So it's really something that you guys are. I hope you guys are excited for as well. Yeah, I am super bullish, not financial advice. Joking.
Mm-hmm. Next is anti-Nephilim government agent 007. Do you guys sell Faraday boxes? I'd like to get one, but don't know which to trust. So is he referring to the crypto steel?
No, Faraday boxes. If I remember correctly, this is like my physics class. It's with regards to magnetic fields, not something that we sell in particular. I would say if you really want to be if you don't trust anyone else to build the box, you can probably build it yourself. Actually, that would be quite cool. Definitely let us know if you do that. But we don't sell any Faraday boxes, unfortunately. But definitely could be something you could look into. That'd be really cool.
But we do sell metal storage solutions that you can use, and it will protect you against fire, water, and corrosion. So if there is any acid or something reaction, so you can check it out on our website. And I think Crypto Zeus and Crypto Steel are the two best sellers that we have with us. So you can do your research and see which one is suitable for your needs, and you can use it and you can keep it in the safe, so it won't be damaged with fire, water, or any other.
That is for the seed phrase, but in particular. So I mean, if you're looking to store the wallet, we do have a little box that you can store it in as well, a little case, but that does not come with the same amount of testing, but it is something to consider. So definitely look at creating itself. That sounds super fun.
Next is Himmel. Are we close to ADA staking within Ledger Live? Yes, we are closer than we were yesterday. So each day we keep getting closer, and one day we'll be close enough. So our teams are working on it definitely, but as we are unable to give any ETAs, we are unable to give them. But we'll give them that. Yeah, it's in works. It's definitely in the roadmap, and our teams are working on it. Yes.
Yeah, we don't want to be too gung ho about it. Otherwise, if you're really expecting it, it would just be wouldn't want to set you guys up for disappointment. So yeah, we'll hassle the devs for you. Don't worry.
Next is NT Nephilim is saying maybe a small fireproof safe with included Faraday cage. Good idea, and fire plus waterproof, and so we can escalate this feedback to our team, and then they'll surely look into it if there's an opportunity, and if we're gonna make security more better for our users, we'll definitely look into it.
I think also that if you're storing the seed, the seed phrase is the most important part, right? So it's not something that you'd want to do for necessarily all the other things in particular. So it is something we'd have to pass on for feedback.
Pluto 5 getting 403 error downloading Linux version Ledger Live. Any suggestions?
My first thing is where you might be located, not in terms of GPS, but like just a country. That would be the first thing that comes to mind, right? Generally 403 HTTP error is a forbidden error, so it might be something in terms of networking and things like that. That's the first thing that comes to mind in particular for me. So if you do want to share that, you can, but you can also try to get a hold of us on support.ledger.com if you need further guidance as to how to proceed going forward with that one as well.
And if you're not able to download it from our website, you can also download it from the signatures page that we have created. And if you want to we'll let you know. You can reach out to us. I think we can link the signatures page here, so that way you can.
I mean, Pluto 5, you mentioned a VPN. That might be something to test in particular. That would be, just a double check. I wouldn't be 100% sure, but that would my first thought is just with regards to 403 being the forbidden code that HTTP will return if you request something to a server and it comes back. I'm sure you guys have seen 404, so that's not found. I can't remember any other ones off the top of my head. I think 503 is another one as well, and all that stuff. So, but based on just the 403 error that you're mentioning, that's what I would be thinking of, that it's some kind of networking issue in particular.
So I've linked it, and then maybe you can try to download it from our signatures page, and then you'll be able to download it.
But guys, if you guys are joining a little late, I think I always mention this. We would just always mention, don't share your 24 words. I know you're probably sick of hearing it, but we have to keep mentioning it every day. And don't sign any transactions you don't trust. Please, keep popping, going through if you have any questions rather, you can pop them in the chat. Depending on how we go, we should be here for another about 25, 35 minutes. But if you guys have answered, hopefully we've answered all your questions, and if that's the case, we can see how we go from there. I think other than that, in terms of, we had the account abstraction happening, and that was probably the big thing that came to mind for me, honestly, because I don't know if you guys know, I'm a bit of an EVM stan. Not to say that I'm a maxi, but I do love my Ethereum, and I'm a bit of a stand for Metallic. probably not watching, but
Why not?
Yeah. Now we got Rizal. Any plans for Casper support? It's not something that I'd know right off the top of my head. We're just going to have a look at it at the moment. I mean, it's not necessarily to say that it's not something we're working on, but more that I wouldn't have everything right off the top of my head there.
We don't have any information as of now, but we can check it with our dev team, and we can definitely get back to you.
Yeah, definitely. You can either you can get a hold of us, on social media. So our social media would be at Ledger for Twitter, if you use that, and you can use at Ledger_support. Please make sure you check for typos, double underscores, all that kind of stuff. We'll be the one with a gold tick. So Ledger, LEDGER_support, SUPPORT. So please be careful. There are always scammers out there. Now, Pluto5, you mentioned, do you think a Ledger Nano S is a future-proof device in terms of over-the-air updates, or would you recommend or advise a higher tier product? So I'm not sure if you mean the Ledger Nano S or S Plus in particular. Now, what I might say in terms of future-proof device is that it's still going to be the thing that you can manage a lot of assets with. So it shouldn't be an issue in terms of that. It's still Ledger Nano S Plus. We're definitely we're going to support for a while to come. The S Plus definitely for sure as well. It's really up to you in terms of the kinds of assets that you support, what you consider really convenient for you. So for example, if I use a Ledger Nano S Plus and I have one app on it and I use it to manage a specific chain. Whereas let's say I have my Ledger Nano S Plus or my Ledger Nano X and I have lots of apps on it if I need to manage any multitude of things with the singular device. It's in terms of the differences in terms of the products, it's mostly just about the space that you can store the applications on, not the number of assets you can manage, but just the apps that you have. So if you install and uninstall apps, they don't actually affect the apps. Like you can't just delete your coins or tokens on chain. Deleting the app and then reinstalling the app would mean that, let's say you have a Ledger Nano S that can only hold 1 or 2 applications, then I'd need to uninstall one and install the other app to manage a specific asset with that application. That should be all. So really you should have a couple of options. It should be up to you.
Next is Himmel. When is the reveal of art on Ledger Stack's Mint Pass? So it's going to be coming in spring of 2023. We don't have the exact dates yet, but once we are close to the reveal, we'll definitely be communicating it via our social channels, and then we'll get the community know. For now, it's spring of 2023 is the date. You can also check this information on Ledger Market website where there's an FAQ, and you can also answer some other questions that you might have. Okay, coming to Songbird. So we have an ongoing issue with Songbird in Ledger Live, guys. So if you're trying to manage your funds, you might see sync issues. And if you're trying to add accounts, you also might not be able to add them. And if you're not trying to send your sets, you also might see some issue, like error called could not detect the network. And our teams are working on it and should be fixed in the new version Ledger Live 2.54 for the desktop. And for mobile, if you're using a mobile, for now it's under work. So the new app is going to come soon, which is going to fix this issue. And in the meantime, of course, you can always use a third-party interface like MetaMask or like MetaMask to manage your funds. Okay, we don't have any other question, guys. So we are here for another 30 minutes, guys. We are from Ledger CS customer support team. If you have any questions, you can drop down in the thread. We can answer it live. And if you can ask us anything, NFTs, crypto, Ledger devices, new projects, integrations, token support, and even scams. There are a lot of scams going on, and if you want to be sure that if you're not falling for any scams, so please you can reach out to us here. This is what we do every week, and also stack shipments start on May. So yeah, we are doing it. So we'll get back to the pre-orders soon, and our team will get back with more information on the shipments. So yeah, hold back, guys. Your journal will come soon. The information. Next, okay, we don't have any other questions, guys. So we might also wrap it early if we don't have much questions, guys. If you are all sorted, I think we don't want to stretch it out.
We don't want to, keep you guys. If you guys, definitely have any questions, let us know. I think I think the only other thing in terms of scams, because it's something that we should be mentioning for you guys, most of you guys should know, should just be about making sure that if they're asking for your recovery phrase, if it's not the ledger device, so even if it says it's ledger live, if it's asking for your recovery phrase, don't put it in. It's the thing that they're trying to get you to do. Stake your assets. If there's any transaction that seems fishy, please double check it, especially if you're blind signing. Connecting to and signing transactions from random websites never really works very well, especially because you probably compromise your assets.
Yep.
So,
Fire Archer dot staking on Ledger, please. So Fire Archer dot is already staking of dot is already supported in Ledger Live. So you just need to add a dot account, and then once you add and send some dots to it, you'll be able to stake it via stake button on inside the Ledger Live app. Of course, the staking thresholds are different, so at least you need minimum 10 dots to start the staking process.
They've actually changed that. Actually, I think
it's 10, right? No,
I think it's like
they keep on, like, it's a variable.
It's gone way higher now.
So no, like 10 is like the basic for starting the staking process. 100 to still like the validators, and then 293 dots you need to stake in order to get the rewards. I have 325 dots and it doesn't work. So
what are the first things? Because it is quite a complex task. I think the first thing that I would mention would be if you're selecting all 16. Also to make sure that you are, if your the validators are oversubscribed is another big one. I think we and Polkadot both have really quite in-depth articles about the specifics that could be happening as well. But those are the two ones that I think I encounter the most, that stop people from getting rewards in particular. So those are probably the two things that come to mind immediately. But you can definitely let us know if that's already been done. We can try and go from there.
Next is we seek, we find when can we store tokens native to Hedera network on Ledger, and when can we stake HBAR?
But unfortunately, again, no whens or anything like that. Definitely something that we would want to work on. We can pass on the feedback for and that kind of thing. But yes, we can't give any specific timeframes or anything like that. But no, definitely no, we seek, we find that we will pass on the feedback. It's the kind of thing that we love hearing from you guys about, because otherwise it's a quick way for you guys to tell us, exactly what you want, and we can try to give it to you.
Next is MG. I'm sorry, it's always me who asks the same question. Can you check why the address of Nervos in Ledger Nano X do not correspond with the address of the application? I'm not the only one, and no confirmation is requested. Unlike what should this do? There is a problem with CKB. Okay, so we need to investigate this if you're facing this issue. So you can do one thing, MG. You can reach out to us on via the our website. You can go to ledger.com and you can do support tab, and then you can create a support ticket with us. So we'll ask for you from log information and try to see exactly what is happening here. And our devs will definitely try to help you and fix this issue, because we haven't seen many users facing this issue. So it might be network specific, or could be device specific. Maybe there's some issue with the device that's not allowing you to do the transactions. So the addresses do not match. So yeah, we'll need to investigate this, and we'll get back to you with more information from our devs, definitely.
It's definitely something that we'd want to check on. I mean, it's a shot in the dark. I don't know. I feel like I remember you mentioning it before, MG, but not sure if it might be a derivation path specific kind of issue as well. But definitely something. If you already have a ticket number, let us know as well. We'll pick it up right after this as well. I'll assign it to myself, and we'll see how we go from there.
Yep. So so this case has been escalated to us basically, and it seems there's a new address format with the Nervos network that is not supported by Ledger, and that's why you're not able to see the same address in Ledger screen. But we have escalated this to a dev team, and they're working on fixing it. For now, the workaround is to avoid receiving transactions while the new address format is supported by the Nano app. So try using the older address format for now. And once we saw the new app is the Nano app supports the new address format, you'll be able to manage your funds with the new address basically. So yeah, it's been escalated to our devs for investigation, and our teams will work on fixing it as soon as possible.
All right. So Pluto 5, you mentioned about interoperability. Is there a plan at Ledger, or is it in the cards? So when you mean interoperability, I'm not 100% sure the specific use of the word here. Would you mean interoperability with other hardware wallets, which shouldn't be an issue generally speaking, depending on what's supported? So it's definitely something that we'd want more information from you for. But yeah, if you can go into more detail, we'll definitely try to answer that as well. But MG, yeah, no, thank you. Definitely, it's obviously I didn't remember that off the top of my head, but thank you as well for getting that.
There are so many blockchains having some different issues, so we try to manage it as much as possible. But then, of course, sometimes it leaves our mind. But thanks for reminding us and holding us responsible for this. So we'll work on it and get back to our users as soon as possible.
ZR33 is a cool one.
Yeah.
I can't add Hedera to my Ledger account in step 3. There is nothing in the existing account. I can't do step 4, but there's nothing in the account to select. Is it a bug? I think if this is the first time you're adding Hedera, HBAR, would you have gone to Hashpack to create the account just yet? That would be the first thing that I think of in particular. It is something that is required at this stage. You do need to use one of these third-party services, and Hashpack is the one that we always mention in particular to be able to add accounts. So it's definitely something I'd suggest. There's a help center article, support.ledger.com. You can actually go through and go from there.
Okay, next is Rizul. Moonbeam is natively supported on Ledger Live. Don't need any third-party app. So I think yes, it is supported. So you just need to install the Moonbeam app and then create an account in Ledger Live, and then you can manage your funds that way.
But definitely something that only just happened in the latest update.
Yeah.
So if you're not on the latest version, it's to be something that you need to update for as well. But next question we have Dimes. Hello, Dimes. Thank you for signing up. I think this is what you were talking about before in terms of the Ledger extension, and it's something I think I'm really excited for. I think all the teams are excited for. Really having more options in terms of connection. There's really some really cool features. I'm actually not even sure we can talk about.
Yeah, but I think we can, because it's like public beta is open. But we can just tell you how it is going to work and everything, because I've tested it by myself as well. So first of all, it removes the use of MetaMask. So that's a great thing. We don't need to use MetaMask anymore. We can just connect your Ledger device to any third-party dApp or marketplace using this extension. It will also show you you can also simulate transactions. So if there's any malicious smart contract transactions that you might be going to sign, the extension is going to warn you about this, and then so you'll not be able to lose your funds. And also it brings you can, with Bluetooth, you can connect it to your desktop as well. That's there's a new feature that's going to come as well. So yeah, it's an interesting project, and we hope we finish the testing soon and patch up all the bugs and then release it to our current users so that they can manage the funds smoothly.
Cool. No, thank you, Dimes, for the compliment as well. MG, I think you mentioned that you have had a couple of these issues since you've come from the moment that you added the crypto. Is that right? Which use open source and not by Ledger Live. It's a really big ecosystem in industry, and there's a lot to take account of. It is it can be very opaque sometimes. I totally understand. So definitely stay in touch. We can always try to let you know, at least when that's fixed. And I know you mentioned other issue as well with DBC. So yeah, we're always trying to help you as best we can. So hopefully we can do that for you better.
Next is Pluto 5. I managed to download Ledger Live 403, regardless of 403 or using Tor. So glad now you can manage your funds easily with the Ledger Live. Good luck.
Cool.
Next is Donny T. It's better to link my Solana Ledger wallet to Phantom through new normal Phantom wallet and not directly from my recovery phrase, right? Just like a video tutorial. Yes, you should never enter your 24-word seed phrase or any software wallet. Always use connect wallet button. Now every wallet has that, and in that you will see Ledger as an option, or hardware wallet as an option, and inside that Ledger will be an option to connect. You can also connect it via your Bluetooth. So if you have phone, if you're using it on phone. But I think for Phantom, the Bluetooth is still I'm not sure if it's still available yet. But for Solflare, you can use it. You can download the Solflare app on your device, and you can connect it via Bluetooth to your Nano X if you're a Nano X user.
All right, we've got Dimes mentioning the extension changed the game, and we hope that does it for sure. We've got Pluto 5 as well, mentioned what programming languages we use, mostly at Ledger. If you actually have GitHub, you can actually check a lot of the repos that are on there. If I remember correctly, a lot of it is in TypeScript. There's a couple of other repos there that are in different languages as well, but you can actually all check that through yourself as well on the page there on GitHub. Next, we had We Seek, We Find. Does Ledger have any plans to add KYC for extra security? Now, this is we won't KYC. We don't ask you to KYC. A lot of the KYC that we mention is mentioned rather is generally going to be a scam. There's no reason for you to KYC at all. So we're just here to provide you guys the hardware wallet and obviously the Ledger Live as a service to manage your assets, manage your Ledger device. So definitely no plans as far as I'm aware at all.
We'll never want your data, guys. We want to be completely anonymous on how you manage your transactions. That's why even after you buy a Ledger device from us, according to the GDPR rules, we just remove the data from our servers as well. And yeah, we don't want any data regarding to a customer. So because it's just going to create a honeypot and then if some data breach happens, that everyone knows that who has which Ledger device and they're into crypto, and that's what we don't want. Next is Donny T. Thanks. MG, wait, a message change on my Ledger Live app on my phone. Let me know if it's a scam. Okay.
Now, I think you've mentioned that the message that you're getting is uHodler, that you can use cryptos to guarantee to obtain a loan. I don't see the screenshot in particular, but uHodler is something that is within Ledger Live. Being that I can't see the screenshot, I can't say, this is 100% a scam or not a scam, but uHodler is something that you can see in the Discover section, and sometimes we may potentially use notifications to try and show you certain things that are in the Discover section. So it is definitely something that it's there. So as long as you downloaded your instance of Ledger Live from ledger.com, you hopefully wouldn't have any kind of malware or anything like that. I wouldn't expect that to be a scam, generally speaking, because uHodler is something within the Discover section in particular.
Yep, and I'm just checking notifications if there is something. And no. So yeah, it could be a legit notification as well or not, but then always if you're going it via Ledger Live app, it's completely safe. But yeah, always be a little paranoid so you can at least check it and then only go through it.
Mm-hmm.
Next is Pluto 5. Ledger has an extension now. So yeah, we are working on creating an extension. We have created an extension, but it's still under beta phase testing. So once it is completed, then it will be released to all our users. So this Ledger extension will allow the users to connect their Ledger Nano X via Bluetooth to any third-party DApp like Paraswap, 1inch, Uniswap, or also different NFT marketplace like OpenSea, Rarible, and it will show you clear signing of the transactions, and more more information will be shared once the browser extension is be ready for the launch. We find any plans to add Proton network. So
might be something.
We want to add as many networks as possible, but we not sure if it's going to be the one.
I'll just pop through onto the next question and
Yep.
looking at that. The next one being Pluto 5. Oh, you just retracted that. But let's go with Music Bags P. You've mentioned so you can find crypto by putting in the wrong code 3 times and then entering your seed phrase. The thing that I'd mention in particular is that your recovery phrase and your seed phrase is the specific thing that you can use to set up any device in particular. So if you if you forgot your PIN, for example, yes, you enter the PIN incorrectly 3 times, and then you restore from an existing recovery phrase to manage the same accounts as you would before. So yes, if you have the recovery phrase, it's all about restoring it from the existing recovery phrase.
So I didn't find the exact token. So if we find if you could just send us a link of CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko for the token you are referring to, because there are a lot of same ticker symbols, so we were not able to find it correctly. So we can actually give you a more accurate answer that it's going to be supported or not. Next is Pluto 5. Does Ledger look into decentralized file storage like Filecoin for its own operation? Asking whether Ledger is looking for Web3 for themselves.
There's definitely not something that I directly know 100% of. In particular, it's not something we generally use in our day-to-day activities necessarily, but it's a really good point to make that Web3 is something we all should be supporting for each other. So Pluto 5, you make a great point there as well. Tracy Simmons, you mentioned, how do I recover coins lost in between Ledger and MetaMask? So the coins should never be lost. The first thing I always look for is a transaction ID or an address. So those are the 2 things we always try to take in first. And basically, you can always use something like a block explorer. So for Ethereum mainnet, it'd be Etherscan. For something like Polkadot, it'd be Subscan. For Bitcoin, you might use Blockstream, Blockchair. There normally would be at least 1 or 2 options to actually be able to not only check where something is, what's happening in particular. And so first you can make sure something is either arrived, it's confirmed on chain, and then go about and finding out, are the addresses the same? Is it because of a derivation path? Is it a network issue? So which network have you sent it on, and things like that. So a lot of things that we need to consider. But yes, definitely something, that's the first thing that I'd look into in particular. It would be the transaction ID or the address.
Yep. Now next is Pluto 5. Where can I find the extension? So I'm going to link it here in the chat so you can check it out, and you can join the waitlist if there is a waitlist available. Yes, you can sign up for the waitlist and you can get an early access once the waitlist is open for general public. Next is MG. I think he's posted the message. Get a loan with your crypto with uHodler use your crypto as a collateral to get loans now available in Ledger Live. That's the message I see on the notification, and there is a link only on the phone. So yeah, it could be a notification, like marketing notification that could have been pushed from our side. If it's in Ledger Live mobile app, then it's legit, and then you can either ignore it or you can check it out and you can learn more about the feature. But yeah, it's not. It doesn't seem fake if it's in Ledger Live. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Rizal, you've also mentioned, is staking supported for Moonbeam, and I don't think that's been directly supported yet. But yeah, we know that it's always the kind of thing we always want to have more and more and more of. So we're trying to add as much. We swore there as we can. So we're trying to add as much as we can. We just want to make sure it's secure. So.
Yeah. And also we want to provide a better infrastructure and the UX to our users so they can stake their assets like perfectly, because as we know, if you take example of Polkadot, and if you see example of Polkadot.js, how complicated it is there to use Polkadot.js extension and stake your assets. So we want to like make it easier for the users if they're using Ledger Live. So to create that interface, it takes a bit of time, and that's why the features takes on a bit of more time to add it into Ledger Live, basically.
So, Skeeter Magoo, you mentioned, how about Ledger Live on a new device? Will this create a security issue? As long as you're not inputting a recovery phrase anywhere that isn't the device, there generally isn't going to be a security issue. The reason for that would be because the recovery phrase, and therefore the private keys, are always on the device. So you can use a Ledger device with multiple Ledger instances of Ledger Live. You can use it multiple Ledger devices with one version of Ledger Live. So it really is up to you how you'd want to manage your devices. If you have multiple instances, it's even built so that you don't have to assume that the computer you're running has not been compromised. So you can even use it if your computer potentially was compromised, for example. What you'd have to do is make sure that you thoroughly check the address that you're seeing on the screen that you're on your device, but also the trusted screen of the Ledger. That's probably the most important part, is that the Ledger device is your trusted screen. What you see there is what you're signing. That's why, blind signing is fun. I do it a lot for some random contracts sometimes, but you got to know that you can be signing something that is totally that could totally compromise your assets. So that's the kind of thing that can create security issues potentially.
Yep. And next question is from Pluto5. Why do Apple products always get first dibs on the new products, unlike Android and Linux? So this is something what our devs are like in charge of taking in, like, because they are the one who's deciding which network, like which device to support on. And it's something that it's not under our control, but we'll definitely escalate this feedback to them. And as far as we know, Android support is also coming soon. So first it will start with Safari, and then next will be Android, and then hopefully Linux should be in the way as well.
I'm kind of upset that I can't get to test it. So, in any case, so Pluto5, you mentioned, I won't mention the name here, but how is the tech perceived from developers? I mean, so the S word, I'm just going to say I have no comment. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
We just want to be
friendly with everyone, guys.
Yeah,
we are not here to fight. We're just here to grow with everyone. And if the product is better, or if the product is good, then it is good. But we have not tested it since it's not out yet. So maybe soon, if we can test it, and then we can give you an actual feedback.
Yeah, maybe they can send the devs a free one. We'll see. Yeah.
94 cast. Can I set the 25th phrase in my existing seed phrase with existing accounts inside? So yeah, you can explain, Felix.
So the 25th, I think a lot of people use the term 25th word. I normally prefer to just say passphrase. And essentially, how I would think about it is you've got the 24 words as your recovery phrase, and the passphrase is essentially an extra layer on top of that. It's actually not even the fifth word technically. You'd use like a string, so letters and numbers, something like that, for in a ledger up to 100 characters, right? And you've mentioned with existing accounts inside. So if you already have assets for a ledger device with your existing recovery phrase, if you go about and add the passphrase on top of it, it won't affect your existing accounts. What will happen is that you'll want to actually add new accounts that they're in that case will kind of have no relation other than the passphrase, the recovery phrase, and derivation path and everything like that to the other accounts as well. So can you set a passphrase if you already have an existing recovery phrase? 100%. It's just about making sure you add the separate accounts that'll have the new the empty account for you to then manage. So it should definitely be possible.
So you won't be able to secure your existing accounts with the 25th word. It will just open a new set of accounts that you will create with the 25th word when you log in with that PIN or temporary passphrase. And then if you want to secure your assets to be secured by the 25th word, you will create new accounts in Ledger Live and then transfer your funds from the recovery phrase account to passphrase accounts. Next is 53 Freestyler. Where are you guys from? So I'm from India. He's from Australia. So, but we are based in France. So right now we are in Paris, France. And the devices that we sent, which are shipped from Ledger, they come from a different part in France called Vierzon. But of course, it's also in France. So nothing is in other country. Everything is France made. Next is MG Paul. I'm sure France. Yes. So yeah, it is France.
Mhm.
Pluto 5, what can you say about being a developer, and what recommendations do you have for anyone who wants to start with type of career job? For you, Felix, that's your question.
I mean, I'm not the type to, I don't think I should be giving, real advice on anything like that. But I think in general, it's just about like doing and making your own projects as a whole. I think that's for any career. It's just about getting your hands dirty. That's the way I learned anyway. I know some people learn with theory and things like that, and that's totally fine. I think for anything, I just would mention that it's just about getting your hands dirty. So me learning to program, it would be about learning to I wanted to make this bot or this thing to download things and things like that. So that's the specific thing that I'd normally be thinking about in terms of what I would be doing in terms of trying to learn things.
Yeah, I think he just needs to focus on the languages that are used in the Web3 and different projects that are coming up in Web3 and what technologies they are using and what vision they have for their own companies, and then maybe you can find a common ground between all the companies, because every Web3 company is following a certain vision. So you just have to be part of that vision and see where can you add in that vision, basically.
I'm a bit of Rust stan personally, so that's a bit of a personal opinion. But we do have only a couple minutes left, guys. We'll try to answer the rest of the questions as well, and we'll try to leave you guys from there. But yeah, we do have Uros, Flaren. They mentioned withdrawal of all Ledger, Cardano, including staking rewards. Do I have to sign any extra transactions? Depending on where you're withdrawing them from, on how you're withdrawing them, it might depend. So if you have staking things that are locked, for example, you might need to sign an extra transaction there. But it might depend. It's a really specific scenario, so it might be something we'd want to check on the specific addresses where you have everything, or how that might work in particular. That might be something to consider.
Yeah, like you need to, if you're delegating your funds, you'll have to first undelegate them, and that will be your first transaction, and then once the balance is available for withdrawing, you again have to withdraw them, so there might be two transactions. So yeah, it depends on the different blockchains, but for Cardano, yeah, there might be one or two transactions that you might have to do to get that funds moved from the stake balance to your available balance in Ledger Live. Next is Plutofy. Are there any shipping delays in sending out the products? As far as we know, we don't see any shipping delays on our end. But if you have ordered anything and then you think there is some shipping delay, you can reach out to us, and our shipping team will definitely give you an update on what's happening. Next is Uros Fling. Staking with Ledger, they are not locked. Staking on Cardano. So if you have not staked it yet, so yeah, there's a Help Center article that explains. Let me check. So you can stake it directly via Ledger Live. So that will be one transaction. I think while staking it will be only one transaction, but we'll just be checking it for we don't give you wrong information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we'll just about finish up there. I see one last question from you, Pluto5. Can you build using a ledger? And you can actually check out the developer portal as well. You can see there's a boilerplate app. There's actually you can also obviously check how to integrate it with a dApp and everything like that as well. So definitely something you can go into and go from there. I might just speed run these questions while you're looking through that as well. There is no MG mentioned there is no cotton hold wallet person or whatever who takes the time like you do for people. You are great, and I will keep repeating it. Thank you, MG. No, you guys are great. We come here to try and help you guys as best we can. So thank you. So G Singh, you've mentioned, are there any videos available to learn how to trade your crypto within Ledger wallet? I'm currently moving a BTC and ETH over to KuCoin to trade, but I would feel safer within Ledger. We can't give you any videos in terms of how to trade. Now, what I might suggest is looking into any potential decentralized services that you might be able to use might be able to use to actually manage it while you're still using your ledger. We actually can't do too much in terms of guiding you through how to trade, but I would just look at specific dApps to actually to actually find. So hopefully that helps. I know I'm being pretty vague about it, but trying not to, please be careful with trading. I love doing it personally, but it's definitely not something I normally suggest for everyone.
And so yeah, you need to stake and you need to select the delegators, so that will take one transaction. But when withdrawing, you need to undelegate, so that will be another transaction. But then again, if you want to withdraw it to your available balance, you need to do a third transaction. So it is like more than one transaction for sure.
All right. Jayton, you came right at the end. Let's just get you answered and then we'll finish right up. I keep promising. We've got a question about address poisoning. How does an attacker make it look like that address transaction is outgoing but actually isn't? Is because they're using the transfer from function that anyone can call if they're using it on a specific smart contract. So they write the smart contract themselves and they have admin kind of privileges, and they can put your address as the from, is the really quick answer there. But if you actually get a hold of us, I can actually go into more detail because I love talking about that stuff. So just mention my name and they'll assign it straight to me if you want. But hopefully that wasn't too quick. And sorry to leave you guys. I know you guys have a lot more questions, but we will be on Twitter tomorrow for a Twitter live. That'll be with Dan, and we'll have way more streams throughout next week and beyond.
Yeah, and we do this every Thursday, guys. So from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. CET Paris time. So if you're gonna want to do this again, you can tune in. And we also do it on Mondays and Tuesdays, but it's on different time zones. So you can also keep checking on the social pages. We'll be announcing it there. And until then, like, share, and subscribe, guys. See you again next week with new episode and maybe new guests.
Cool. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.